You buy the ticket with $1.75 and change left over from a coffee you paid for in cash because the card reader at the gas station on Halstead was broken again. You don't buy lottery tickets. You've bought maybe 6 in your life, all of them at gas stations, all of them with change, all of them scratched in parking lots with your car key because you don't carry coins and the edge of a key works fine. You are not a person who plays the lottery. You are a person who occasionally has $1.75 in coins and nowhere to put them. The parking lot is half empty. It's a Tuesday, 4:17 p.m. You sit in your car with the engine off and the window cracked, and you scratch the ticket on your thigh because the console is covered in receipts and the passenger seat has a jacket on it. The gray dust falls onto your jeans in small curls. You scratch the first row. Nothing. The second row, nothing. The third row reveals 3 matching symbols and a number beneath them that you read once and then read again, and then hold the ticket at arm's length and read a third time because the number has 7 digits, and 7 digits is not a number that appears on lottery tickets that cost $1.75. $1 million. You sit in the car for 11 minutes. You know it's 11 minutes because the dashboard clock reads 4:17 when you stop scratching and 4:28 when you start the engine. In those 11 minutes, you do not call anyone. You do not scream. You do not cry. You sit with your hands on the ticket and your eyes on the windshield, and the parking lot in front of you is the same parking lot it was 12 minutes ago, except now you are a different person inside the same body, in the same car, in the same parking lot, and the distance between who you were at 4:16 and who you are at 4:28 is exactly $1 million and 11 minutes of silence. You drive home. You put the ticket in a book on your shelf, pages 114 and 115 of a novel Keisha gave you 2 years ago that you read once and liked and never moved. The ticket sits between the pages, where a character named Ruth decides to leave a man she loves for reasons the author never fully explains. You chose those pages without thinking about it. Later, when you think about it, the placement will feel like something, but right now it's just a book on a shelf with $1 million inside it and you standing in your kitchen at 4:43 p.m. on a Tuesday, not calling anyone. Day 1. You Google what to do if you win the lottery at 11:14 p.m. lying in bed with the lights off because searching for this in daylight felt conspicuous, even though nobody can see your phone. The results are unanimous. Don't tell anyone. Hire a lawyer. Claim through a trust. The articles are written by financial advisors and former winners and one person who describes losing 2 marriages and a brother after telling his family about a prize that was half the size of yours. You read that one twice. The brother didn't speak to him for 4 years, not because of the money, because of what the money revealed about what the brother believed he was owed. You put the phone down. You look at the ceiling. The book is on the shelf 6 feet from your bed, and the ticket is between pages 114 and 115, and $1 million is closer to your body right now than any amount of money has ever been. You don't sleep until 2:40 a.m. When you wake up at 6:15 for work, you check the book first. The ticket is there. You go to work, you say good morning to Glenn, you sit at your desk, you answer emails. The $1 million does not exist between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. You do not allow it to exist. You partition it the way you partition a hard drive. It is there, but you've blocked access during business hours because allowing it into the workday would change the way you sit in the chair, and the way you sit in the chair is, for now, the only thing keeping you invisible. Week 1. You find a lawyer named Franklin through a referral from a financial advice forum you've been reading at 1 a.m. every night since Tuesday. Franklin has an office in a building with a parking garage that charges $12 and no validation. He is a man with thin glasses and a handshake that suggests he has done this before, which he has, twice. He doesn't congratulate you. He asks if you've told anyone. You say no. He says, good. He says it the way doctors say good when your test results are negative, with professional relief, not warmth. The trust is called Cloverleaf Holdings LLC, a name Franklin generated from a list he keeps for this purpose. The name means nothing, that is the point. The claim is filed under the trust. The prize, after federal and state taxes, is $641,212. The $1 million became $641,212 in the space of one tax form. You expected it, the articles warned you, but expecting it and watching it happen are different experiences, the way expecting rain and standing in it are different experiences. You are standing in the tax code, and it is wet. You open an account at a bank you've never used, in a branch you've never visited, on a street you don't drive down. The money sits. You don't touch it. You don't set up online access for 2 weeks because looking at the number from your phone feels dangerous, like keeping a loaded thing in your pocket. When you finally log in, the balance reads $641,212.00, and the number looks like it belongs to someone else's app. Month 1. The secret changes small things first. You stop checking prices at the grocery store. Not consciously, you just notice one Sunday that you put the name brand cereal in the cart without comparing it to the store brand, and the absence of the comparison is so loud in your body that you put the name brand cereal back and pick up the store brand again and stand in the aisle holding both boxes and realizing that the problem isn't the cereal. The problem is that not checking is a tell. A tell is a change. A change is a question. A question from the wrong person is the beginning of a thread that leads to a book on a shelf between pages 114 and 115. You pay off your car loan, 14 months of remaining payments totaling $4,318. You pay it in one transfer from the new account. The loan disappears from your credit report within 30 days. Keisha notices. She notices because you mentioned the car payment in a conversation 3 months ago the way people mention ongoing financial pain, casually, without emphasis, as background noise. And now the noise is gone, and Keisha hears silence, the way a musician hears a missing note. She asks, you say the dealership made an error in your favor, miscalculated the payoff, sent you a letter saying the balance was satisfied. You say it with the specific detail of someone who has rehearsed the sentence, which you have, twice in the shower, because lying to Keisha requires preparation, the way lying to a stranger does not. She says that's lucky. You say, yeah. She goes back to her green curry. That's the first lie. You count it, not because you planned to count, because the weight of it is specific enough to register as an event, the first lie to Keisha. You will remember the curry and the way she said that's lucky, and the way the word lucky sat between you on the table, like a coin neither of you picked up. Month 3. The distance begins, and it doesn't announce itself. It arrives the way mold arrives, slowly, in corners you don't check, in spaces you assumed were dry. Keisha talks about rent. She says her landlord is raising it by $120, and she's thinking about finding a roommate or moving to a cheaper neighborhood. You nod, you say that sucks, you mean it, but the words pass through a filter now. Everything you say about money passes through a filter that checks, does this sound like a person who has $641,000 in a bank account nobody knows about? The filter is exhausting. It runs on every sentence. It edits in real time. It catches the things you almost say and replaces them with things a person without $641,000 would say, and the performance is seamless from the outside and corrosive from the inside. A coworker named Janine sits in the break room and talks about her credit card debt, $8,000 across 2 cards. The interest alone is $140 a month. She says it with the specific exhaustion of someone who has done the math, and the math didn't help. You offer sympathy. The sympathy is real, but it tastes different now. It tastes like a person with a secret offering comfort from behind a wall the other person can't see. The sympathy is not less sincere, it is less honest, and the distance between sincerity and honesty is the distance the secret has opened inside you, and you're not sure how to close it.
You have lunch with Keisha on Thursday. Same Thai place on Division, 8 tables, vinyl booths with tape on the seats, television in the corner playing an unidentifiable channel, warm pendant lamps, the wobbling booth by the window, pad seat U, green curry. The check is $23. You split it. You have $641,000 and you split a $23 check because splitting the check is the ritual, and the ritual is the architecture, and the architecture is the only thing holding the secret in place. If you pay the full check, Keisha will look at you. If Keisha looks at you, she'll see something. If she sees something, she'll ask. If she asks, the book on the shelf between pages 114 and 115 stops being a hiding place and becomes a confession. You split the check. The lie count is at 4 now. Not big lies, small ones. The car loan, a dental bill you said insurance covered, a jacket you said was a gift, an extra shift you said you picked up to explain a weekend you spent meeting with Franklin. 4 lies, each one the size of a sentence, each one precisely calibrated to maintain the shape of a life that no longer fits, but which you cannot stop wearing because taking it off would mean everyone sees the new shape underneath, and you are not ready for that. You don't know if you'll ever be ready for that. Month 6. You buy your apartment, the one you've been renting for 3 years. The landlord, a man named Arthur, is surprised. Not suspicious, surprised. You tell him you've been saving aggressively and received help from a relative. The 5th lie, you've started categorizing them. Lies to Keisha, lies to coworkers, lies to landlords, lies to the woman at the bank who asked why you were opening a second checking account, and you said budgeting purposes, which is lie number 6 and the smoothest one so far, because it contains a truth inside it. You are budgeting, just not the way she imagines. The apartment costs $162,000. You pay in cash through the trust. Cloverleaf Holdings LLC is now a property owner. The deed is in the trust's name. Your name appears nowhere on the public record. Franklin says this is correct. Franklin says a lot of things are correct. Correct is his favorite word. The apartment is correct. The trust is correct. The secrecy is correct. You're starting to wonder if correct and good are the same thing, and you're increasingly sure they are not. Year 1. The money has earned $38,000 sitting in an index fund Priya recommended. You haven't changed your job. You haven't moved. You own the apartment now, but it looks the same from the inside. Same couch, same shelf, same book between pages 114 and 115, except the ticket is no longer there. It's in a safe deposit box at the bank you never visit on the street you don't drive down. The book still sits on the shelf with a gap between pages 114 and 115 that only you can feel, the way a healed bone still aches in weather nobody else considers cold. You drive the same car, which is paid off now, and still has receipts on the console. You eat the same pad CEU at the same Thai restaurant on Division Street. Same 8 tables, same vinyl booths with tape on the seats, same television, same wobbling booth by the window. Keisha still splits the check. The check is $23. You have $679,000, and you split a $23 check every Thursday, and the splitting is not performance anymore. It has become protection, not of the secret, of the friendship, because the moment you stop splitting is the moment the friendship changes shape, and you would rather carry the secret for the rest of your life than change the ship of Thursday. The lie count is at 11. They're getting easier, which scares you more than the early ones did. The early lies required rehearsal. The new lies arrive fully formed, without effort, like a skill you didn't want to develop but developed anyway through repetition. You are fluent now in the language of appearing unchanged. The fluency costs something, but you can't identify what it costs because the cost is internal and the currency is trust, and trust doesn't show up on a bank statement. Year 3. You tell Keisha, not the number, not the trust, not Franklin or the safe deposit box and the 11 lies that became 14 that became 19. You say, something happened a few years ago and I need to tell you. She puts down her fork. Green curry on the plate, half eaten. The television plays. The booth wobbles. She looks at you the way she has always looked at you, which is directly, without calculation, without the filter you've been running for 3 years on every sentence you've spoken to every person in your life. You say you won money. You don't say how much.
You say it changed some things. You say you didn't tell anyone because the articles said not to, and because not telling felt safer than telling, and because every week that passed without telling made the next week harder to tell, until the silence became a structure, and the structure became a wall, and the wall became the thing you were protecting instead of the money. Keisha doesn't ask how much. She asks, "Is that why you paid off your car?" You say, "Yes." She says, "And the apartment?" You say, "Yes." She says, "And the jacket, and the dental bill, and the extra shift that wasn't a shift?" You say, "Yes." You didn't know she knew. She says she didn't know. She says she just felt something shift, and she couldn't name it, and she decided to wait because that's what she does. She waits. She has been waiting for 3 years for you to say the thing you just said, and she never once asked because Keisha doesn't ask questions she already knows the answer to. She just waits for you to arrive at the truth on your own schedule, the way she waited in the parking lot of the gas station all those years ago without asking why you needed a ride. She says, "You're still the same person." You say, "That's why I didn't tell anyone." She says, "That's why you should have told me." The pad CEU arrives. The booth wobbles. The check will be $23 and you will split it, because the splitting was never about the money, it was about the shape of Thursday. And Thursday, right now, in this booth, with the television playing a channel you'll never identify, and the tape on the seats replaced so many times the color has shifted, and the curry the same temperature it always is, Thursday is the same shape it's always been, except now there's one less lie between you and the only person who never needed a number to sit across from you in a wobbling booth and hand you the bigger container without checking which one it was. The lie count was 19. Now it's 0. Not because the lies have been corrected, because the person they were hiding from has decided they don't matter. And that, more than the $641,000, more than the trust, more than the apartment and the indexed fund and the safe deposit box on a street you don't drive down, that is the most valuable thing you've ever received. A forgiveness that didn't need to be asked for, given freely, over curry, on a Thursday, in a booth that wobbles.